Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Raghavendra Mishra and I welcome you all. In this video, we will learn how to use PageFactory design pattern in Cucumber. So what is PageFactory? PageFactory is built-in class provided by Selenium WebDriver and an extension of Page object model that simplifies the initialization of web element in the page classes. It's part of Selenium framework and help reduce the boilerplate code for the element initialization. In PageFactory, the initElement method is used to initialize web elements, and tester can, or whoever is the test script writer or test script developer, right? They can use find by, find all, or find by's annotations to find web elements on the page classes and perform actions on them. Okay, so I hope it is very clear from the diagram which I have prepared for you. In my previous video, I have already covered and demonstrated how POM works. In this video, let's implement PageFactory design pattern, okay, for the login scenario which we have here in the scenario outline. Okay, so we are going to check if login is successful with the valid credentials or not. So given user is on the login page, so we are going to access source demo application for that, and we will be entering valid username and password from here, okay, from the data table. Okay, we have parameterized it, and we will click on login button, and we will make sure that user is navigated to the home page. That is what we are going to verify, and we will close the browser once done. Okay, once everything is fine. So we have these folders created inside src test java. We have page objects, we have step definition, we have test runner, and the feature file is kept inside feature folder inside src test resources. Okay, I will create one more folder for the PageFactory implementation. Okay, so let me create one folder called PageFactory, right? And inside this I will be creating one class wherein I will be jotting down all those page objects and the method related to that page, login page and the home page. All right, so let me write login page factory. So this is the Java class wherein I will be implementing PageFactory design pattern. Okay, so in the PageFactory we know that we use this find by annotation, right, to find the locator for the web elements on the page. So we will be actually using this application in which we have username and password and the login button. Okay, so we will be entering the username and password. Okay, so we have a valid username and password kept in the data table, whatever we are supposed to use, and you can also see it is mentioned over here. So we have already kept that standard user and the secret sauce password in the data table, and we have parameterized that. So for now we are going to identify the locator for this username. All right, so I am going to locate this particular username, this field, this web element or this object with the help of ID. Okay, so I'll be adding ID. So you can also identify with the help of XPath or name, whatever is helpful in identifying that web element on the uniquely identifying that web element on the page. You can use that, and followed by web element. Okay, so web element we are going to use. So what is that? We can name it like username. Okay, so and I will hold shift control and O to include these packages. Okay, so wherever we are using this txt username, we will be actually identifying with the help of we should be able to identify this username with the help of ID. Okay, so anywhere we are using txt username, we should be able to perform all the action on the web element using this. Okay, this txt username. So that is what it is. So that is the whole point behind this using this find by. So we have already identified this username and with the help of ID locator, and we are we have given this name to this username field. Okay, similarly we will be identifying password with the help of ID locator. I'll be using ID and followed by web element. We will call it as password. Okay, and similarly I will be using one more find by annotation to find the to locate the login button. Okay, so let me see what is the XPath or ID for the login. So here we are using ID to identify this login button. Okay, so we have already noticed that these ID will help user identify these element, these field, these objects on the page uniquely. Okay, so there is nothing like, okay, if you use this ID, there is one more element on the page with the same ID. Okay, so which is why we are using ID over here. Otherwise we can go with a XPath or a different locator. For now I'll be using this. Okay, and let me name it as button. Okay, what is that? Login button. Okay, so here you have to use @find by. Okay, so everything is clear so far, so good, right? So we have identified this username, password, and login. Okay, so we have identified the locator for this username and the password and the button, and we have used find by annotation for the same. And wherever we are using these variable, we will be able to directly perform the action on these elements. Okay, provided these elements are initialized. All right, now time to add method. Okay, so how we will be adding the method? We can now let's public void, you enter username, and I will be using so I have written one method to enter the username on that. So txt, if I use txt, right, you can see if I hold control and space bar, I will get txt username. Then I can simply call this method send keys, and I can pass the username to that. And this username we are taking from the data table, from the feature file. Okay, feature file data table has this standard user and the secret sauce. For the username, this is the username, password, this is the password, and just below this, these two fields, right, we can see the value over here. All right, so this is that. And similarly I will be creating one more. We can create one more method. Public void into password. I'll be receiving the password from data table again. Okay, so here I will be using txt and password dot send keys. So we are going to send the password. Okay, we are going to receive it from the data table again. Okay, so let me just, whatever I am receiving here, I will be using the same password. I will enter the same password to the login page. Okay, so this is that. And one more method for these are the method, right? And click on login, click on login button. Okay, or click on login, just simply like. So here I will be using button and button login, and I will be performing click on this. Okay, let me just do formatting of this, shift control and F, and yeah, so we are good till here, till this point. Now time to initialize the web elements. Okay, so we will initialize that web element, all these web elements inside one constructor. Okay, so we will be writing one constructor, and before that let me just declare the WebDriver driver. Okay, so this is the WebDriver reference variable. We will be using this inside the constructor, so that like whenever we are creating object of this class, we should be able to perform the perform the action using this driver variable. Okay, and to maintain the session, so we will be using one constructor, and there inside that constructor, so we know that what is the name of the constructor. Constructor is a special kind of method which carries or which share the same name as class name. Okay, so we can use this class name, and inside which I will be giving one parameter called driver, and this dot, so whatever driver we are passing from the step definition file, right, we are going to receive that driver file here, and we will use this dot driver to make the difference, right? So we are using this particular driver, right? So in this driver we are storing the driver reference variable, whatever we are receiving from the step definition file. Okay, so in this we will be receiving the driver reference from the step definition file, and we will be maintaining the same session when we use the driver. So we are actually giving the driver whatever object or whatever session it is holding in the step definition will be actually maintained by this driver reference variable of this class, PageFactory class. Okay, so this is that, and inside which what we can do, we can now call PageFactory. So this, we know that PageFactory is the built-in class in the Selenium WebDriver, and using this class we can use this method of the PageFactory class. Okay, so here we will be using driver, and here we will be using object page. Okay, so object page is nothing but the same class. Okay, so this is your class. This class is, we are using this. Okay, instead of writing this PageFactory dot class or whatever, right? So it is recommended to use this because we are going to initialize this class. Okay, all the elements inside this class. So that's it. And now we should be able to let's do a formatting, and now I think we are good. So let me just write a step definition file for this feature file. We are not changing anything in the feature file. You can refer my old previous video in the same channel to get more idea on the POM. Okay, how we have implemented that. Now we have implemented this PageFactory, and now time to use this PageFactory design pattern. Okay, now go to the step definition, and for timing, whatever class file or whatever login step definition we had written, right, we can uncomment this particular class. So let me just select, and let me try to uncomment it. Shift Control. So we have used this method to comment. Shift Control. So this is our login step definition file which we have uncommented. Just in case if you have commented in the previous, if you were following my previous video and you have uncommented this login step definition for the sake of like POM, you can uncomment, or you can just implement these step definition based on the feature file. Okay, we are going to automate this login scenario over here. You can refer my previous video to get more context on the step definition and the POM, right, how we implemented that. So now we have uncommented, and just make one more copy of this. We will make a copy of this, right click, just copy, and just paste it over here. Okay, so we are going to create a copy of this login definition. We will name it as PageFactory. This name can be anything, but just for like sake of identifying that this is PageFactory, we have given this name. Okay, so for now I will be again just commenting this out. Okay, let me just comment out everything. I have commented this section, and I will save this file, and I will also comment out the previous, because okay, let's not comment, and we'll see the consequences and then we will comment it out. Okay, makes sense, right? So we have got this PageFactory login step definition class created or copied from this login step definition existing file, where we have implemented all those given, when, and based on the feature file, right? Whatever when we run this feature file for the first time, it actually Cucumber will suggest like what all method you need to declare and you have to define, implement basically, right? So you can see user is on login page, everything is over here, right? User is on login page. You can refer my previous video. I'm not going to cover that, like how to create that step definition. Rather we are concentrating on like PageFactory design pattern, how to use PageFactory over here. So inside which I need to do a couple of changes based on my PageFactory design, whatever I have done over here. So inside PageFactory, you can see PageFactory step definition. Here we have implemented this PageFactory. Okay, we have initialized the web elements, and now we are going to use that in the step definition. So this is that step definition, PageFactory login step definition, and here I'm going to create a login object of login PageFactory. Okay, so this is the login PageFactory object, and I will name it as login, or you can name it anything you want. Okay, so this is how we can just give the we have given the reference variable of this login page, and going forward we can create the object of this login PageFactory. Okay, so we have declared that reference variable, we have declared the object, and we are going to use this reference variable to create the object of this login PageFactory and use the method inside. Now here we don't need to do anything. User is on the login page and simply it is accessing this source demo application, and inside this method what we can do, we can use our methods, whatever we have created in this PageFactory, login PageFactory. Okay, so we will be using, you enter username, we will be using enter password, we will be using click on login button. Okay, and whenever we create the object of this class, we will pass the driver reference variable, and the session will be maintained, and all the elements whatever we have declared over here, whatever we have defined over here, will be initialized. Okay, this particular PageFactory will be initialized. Okay, and here I have already told that login PageFactory class can be used, but our recommendation is like to use this keyword. Okay, all right, with that then I'll go back to this PageFactory again, and here I will be using, let me just create the object of login factory, and I will be passing a driver. Okay, driver, I am passing this driver basically, and it will maintain the session over there. And then what I will do, I will use the same login object, and I will use the enter username. Okay, and username we are receiving from the feature file. Okay, so I'll send this argument, okay, to that PageFactory, and it will perform the action on that. And similarly I will be using enter password, and the password is same whatever we are fetching or whatever we are reading from the feature file. Now here we are going to use the same thing, login, and we will be clicking on the click on login button. Okay, and we have already identified the login object and everything inside. So this is the method which will actually enable us to click on the login button. Okay, now similarly we are making sure that the user is navigated to the home page. Okay, and here we have identified the object of login page. Now if you see, if I enter the username over here like a standard user and secret source, okay, it will be navigated to the home page. Now we have to verify that actually after login it is gone, or it is redirecting to the home page. So any element on the home page, if apparent, right, or like can be used as a condition or like one of the checkpoint. So let us choose this or this. Okay, so let us find out the XPath or ID for this particular element on the web page. Okay, so I'll be simply using selector hub to find the XPath or ID, relative XPath I can choose. So it is recommended to use the different class, PageFactory class, right? For now this is home page. Now we cannot identify, or we cannot jot down all those elements like whatever you see right over here, these elements on the login page, class. Okay, on the login PageFactory class. So here I am going to create one more class file for the home page factory. Okay, factory. So whatever objects or method or action performed on the home page, right, on those elements, whatever we can see on the home page will be jotted down or will be written down over here in the home page factory class. So we know that this page factory is nothing but the extension of the page object model, right? So let me save all these previous changes, and here I will be using, similarly I will use find by, and I will see this time I'm using XPath because I have taken the XPath of that particular cart element on the home page. So this we are going to use as a condition. Okay, so web, so if it is displayed, it means we have user is navigated to the home page. Okay, web element, and I will be using label, LBL, and cart. Okay, so this is that. And yeah, so we have already used this XPath, and I will be importing the find by. Okay, so we know that the we in the PageFactory design pattern we use find by annotation followed by this web element. Okay, so wherever we are using this, actually we should be able to this identify this particular element using the XPath, web element XPath. So wherever this XPath is there means this particular object. So this particular object is like internally will be calling or associated with this XPath. Okay, in the find by annotation. Now we can write a method called is cart displayed, okay. So here we are using this label cart is displayed can be used. Okay, so this should be enough. And now as in when like this is present, it means it is confirmation that we have navigated to the home page. And similarly we can initialize the driver and initialize the elements using initElements method. So we are going to write constructor here, and we will be receiving the WebDriver reference variable, okay, from the step definition file. And here we will use again similar to the login page driver. Let me just import this driver also, and here we have not used driver, so we have to declare it first. Driver. Okay, so this driver equal to driver and we will use PageFactory again, PageFactory.initElements, and we will use driver, and we will use this page object. Page object is nothing but the same class, so we can use this. Okay, so these two arguments are needed, okay, for this particular method, initElement method inside the PageFactory. So we have initialized the web element, okay, of this PageFactory class. This PageFactory class, all the elements of this PageFactory class has been initialized inside this constructor. So once we call this particular class, once we create the object of this class, this particular constructor will be called. It will actually take the driver reference variable, and it will maintain the session with the this dot driver, and we will call this built-in class to initialize the web element which we have created. So in this case we have only one, so that's fine. And now we will go back to the step definition file, and we will create one more reference variable of home page factory. Home, I will use home, and now similar to that I will be creating object of that home page here, and home page, and all right, let me comment this particular section for now, and I will be creating object of, because we are making sure that we have user has been navigated to the home page factory, and that's it. And now here I will be using this reference variable to call the method is card displayed or not. Okay, you can see whatever we have here, or whatever we have implemented, or whatever we have defined over here is actually coming into the suggestion. Okay, once we have that a reference variable, right, we can invoke the method whatever we have created. So this is that, and now let us see everything I think is fine, and let us run this feature file to see if there is any issue with this. And you may see the duplicate step definition error also, because we have not commented out this particular class, because all those similar methods are used there. So it may okay, so looks like it is getting passed. So did we comment out everything? Are we sure that it is calling the right class? So let us see the run configuration of this. So it is pointing to the test project. Basically the test project is getting executed, so we have to change it to the BDD and the respective login file. So let us make sure that we are executing the right set of files: test, resources, features, and the login. Okay, so now it is executing the feature file, login feature file from the BDD project. I will apply the change, we'll run it. Now this time this should get failed, okay, because of duplicate step definition files, duplicate step definition exception, right? You can see it. Okay, now we know that same method has been used in this class file also. So what I'll do, I will comment out this class and we'll run the feature file again. Okay, so now time to see if it is getting executed fine, or it throws a different set of exception. Yeah, it has launched the browser, and see, it has executed all fine, right? So you can ignore this connection socket error for now. It is not relevant, it is just a warning. So I will cover that, or I will tell you like how to fix that socket warning in the next video. So for now you can see like given user is on login page, user is navigated to the home page, everything, all those feature file, whatever we have mentioned over here is executed fine, and we are closing the browser also. So all one scenario is passed, 5 steps, whatever methods, right, are identified as a step over here. So all those 5 steps in the login feature file 1 2 3 4 5 are executed fine, okay, within this second. We can also see the report over in the test report. If you refresh this, you will get this particular emailable report.html. You can open it, open with the system browser or web browser you have. Okay, so this is that okay, a report, default test. And let me open this particular close browser. I'll be using test output target HTML report. So we can further customize like how to which report we want, right? From the test runner file, if we run, we can get it customized, right? Inside target, I'm just redirecting to the HTML report.html, and we are calling the. So let me run this particular class, or from the test runner also. It is going fine, yeah, and everything is passed. Okay, so we can see the summary, we can see. And now when we run this PageFactory class, okay, from the test runner, we can get to know, like, this is the format of the test runner, right? So we are importing that TestNG abstract, TestNG Cucumber. So basically we are using this, we are extending to this class, and we are using glue code. So glue code is nothing but the backend code, right? A step definition, whatever we have written, and we are using the plugin, and this is the HTML reporting. We can use HTML, JSON, XML based on our need, okay? And this is the feature file which we are interested in. So far there is only one feature file. So whenever we are executing this particular file, this test runner class, it is actually saying how many feature files are there. Okay, so it is getting one login feature file, so it is executing this particular login feature file, and it is finding this corresponding associated step definition for this particular feature file, and it is executing that. Okay, so internally, like whatever we have implemented in the PageFactory is coming into the picture, and that is what we are going to use this particular PageFactory design pattern in our step definition file. Okay, in this PageFactory login step definition file. I hope this session was useful, and you have learned from this video. Please do like and subscribe to my channel if you have not, and share it with your friends, and also share the feedback in comment section. And I will see you in next video. Until then, keep learning, and thanks for watching.